women go to college to find their husband. Black women go to prove they don't need one.
Oh my gosh!
Now, listen, as harsh as that sounds, there is validity in that statement. Have y'all ever heard of Ring by Spring? If you look like me, you probably haven't. If you don't look like me, you probably have, because that's a thing in our lighter friends community. Ring by Spring is apparently a goal for our lighter toned friends to get a proposal before graduation in the spring. And then, you know what? Last night I saw a movie. There's a movie called Ring by Spring. I'm gonna have to go watch it. But it's a thing. Don't worry, we're gonna touch on the black women go to prove they don't need one in a different video.
Okay.
All right. So y'all got it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. What do y'all think
Y'all
about
ain't
that?
got it.
They don't got
There you
that.
go. There you go.
I mean, I
What it,
can't speak. Oh, go ahead. What?
what
Now
it's
go
saying
ahead,
in
go
so
ahead,
many
T.
words. What it's saying in
Oh,
so many
Go-
words that white women go to college, they'll find a husband in college, but
yep.
black women are going to college to improve their career and then try to find a husband later.
Mm-hmm.
That they won't marry the
Yeah.
guys from college. They won't marry the guys from college because they don't have enough, or they're not doing this, they're not doing that. They wait until they're successful, and then by the time they're successful, the black guys that they want are successful have moved on and found someone else aside of them, and it's tougher for them to get involved in a relationship due to the fact that they waited so long. Number one, and then they waited till they're successful instead of getting with someone while they was young and building together.
I mean, T, you want to go first, or? Yeah. I mean, the way she phrased it, um, the her very first statement was that women, which I can't speak on because I'm not white, go to college to find a husband, and black women go to college to prove that they don't need one. Okay. I can't speak on white women, but as far as black women, I mean, I didn't finish school, but I went to school. I went supposedly for an education, but I was young and dumb and I went to party actually. But and now
I'm
I'm
glad you said
reconsidering.
it.
Yeah, I mean,
She's
I was
that's
young,
exactly what
but
she was saying though.
Now she,
okay, but huh? So
In other
now
words,
she
y'all are
didn't, she
not
didn't
taking
say that, but
relationships. She's saying, in other words, that black women do not take relationships seriously in college, right?
right.
It's not the main purpose. Y'all could go for your careers, y'all could go for fun, but you're not going to college to get married. The intention is not, I'm going to college because my most fertile years will be in my 20s, so I better go find a husband to at least
but
have a shot at the family.
baby, at
I mean,
2019, I wasn't mature to handle myself, let alone a marriage for real. Like
but
God forbid. Oh, go ahead, Randy.
no, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad I didn't meet the one back then, because baby, I'd probably be divorced from the one, whoever he was. Like, I know I'm speaking for me personally. I was not emotionally stable, none of that. Financially, none of that. Like, I went to school to play, like I said, I was supposed to get an education. But even now, I'm older now, but I'm rethinking going to school. Why? To better myself, to get an education, to study something that I'm interested in, I'm passionate about. So
Who
yeah,
is
like yeah,
financially
that's
stable in college?
hmm?
Who is financially stable in college?
No, but what I'm saying is, for a relationship and a marriage at 20, because it's your most fertile years, that's
I
that's
want,
the point. That's the reason for looking for that. Because it's your most fertile years.
So
No.
when
He
is the
probably
best
ain't
time do
financially
you?
stable either because he in college. Like, what are we
So
doing?
what is the
I
best time
mean,
do you believe it is for a woman to start looking for a family? What age?
I personally don't know, to be real, but I would say if I had to throw a rock in the dark, I'd say like I would say 20s is good, but I would say also mid 20s. I'll say mid 20s going into your late 20s. I'll say around then. 19 and 20, I feel like it's a little crazy, but in the white community in general, because we grew up with white people. Like white people is actually, we learned white culture before we learned black culture. That's how deep it was.
Facts.
We was the only black people in the neighborhood. And one thing that I know about white people is that in general, across the board, they plan early for everything. They actually they have credit scores and all this other stuff and cars and I remember, I'll never forget when I went to high school, ninth grade, Olympic high school, and I'm talking to other my white friends. Yeah, me and my parents was looking at these colleges and we was doing this and we was doing that. Nigga, I didn't even college. White people in general plan early for everything. They actually plan their life out. White people can actually, and it's so funny because it's a downfall for black people, but this is how white people do. White people can go, they go to college, they may or may not find a mate. Let's say they do, for the sake of the conversation. They partying. Let's say these niggas do coke and all of that through college. Graduate, get off the drugs and be just as successful. A black person will go to college and get messed up off the partying and the drugs, and we never get our life together. So I don't think I think in general, white people, they just plan early for everything. Black people, we don't plan for nothing. You go out, and when you learn is when you just learn. If you didn't really have parents that has an education themselves, or even knew how powerful education was, they not, or just even some type of commitment relationship, because you probably ain't got no daddy in the home. And black people ain't looking at none of that. They not telling their kids none of that. They just saying, go to school. You better go to school. That's it. White people, they already know what they doing. Them niggas got that joint ready in 6th grade.
Well, if you all grew up in a white area and learned white culture before you learned black culture, why didn't you all start planning early?
Because it was still a look in the mirror of the what's it called? The controversy between being white and black. I always wondered why I felt that my white friends were being more successful. They had more things happening to them. I noticed that as a child, but it becomes something, and because you don't see a lot of people that look like you that's making it. We see people that look like them that's making it, and so therefore, if you don't learn as a black person that what's correct or what's the best is not associated with being white, you ain't gonna start doing what they doing. Most black people, we know what white people are doing right now, but our community is still on a decline because there's not a lot of people that look like us that's doing it. If you start doing something now, a lot of white people will say, oh, you just trying to be like the white man. You start speaking better, you start reading, you start doing these things, black people will come and tell you, oh, you just want to be white. Because they associate with what you need to do for your life with being white. That's why you think they're like, that's a huge thing within our community. It really is. Seeing a reflection of yourself means a lot. And I didn't see that. I didn't even think I was beautiful because I didn't look like the white women. I didn't have straight hair like them. I was so stuck. I was like, damn, why am I so dark? Why do I look like this? It becomes a huge complex of skin color and what you feel like you can accomplish. So,
did you grow up with your mom and dad in the house? Did you grow up with your mom and dad in the house?
Sure did. I am the baby of the family. I witnessed a lot of things. Go ahead.
So you said something earlier about fatherless men, right?
Yeah.
So you're trying to tell me that
fatherless
families. So you're telling me that fatherless families have it harder, but you grew up in a household with a father and a mother, and you still felt as if you wasn't as beautiful because you was white? They didn't teach you any better than that?
So first of all, my parents taught me a lot of things. However, just because a man
I'm not trying. Hey, hold on. I'm not trying to jump on your parents.
No,
I'm not trying to jump on your parents. I just want to say that.
Well, you stay
but let me finish. First of all, like I said, my parents taught me lots of things, right? But just because your father is in the home does not mean he's being the father in the home.
So now we got another excuse.
Wait. No, let me finish.
These excuses.
Let me finish. Just because you have somebody that's present in the home, it could be almost as if it's a shadow that's there. It's not really any type of connection you have. And that's another issue within our community. There's a lot of times where even if you is in home, you are not, your presence has to be felt. There is a lot of emotional neglect, a lack of understanding, a lack of spending time, a lack of just actually sitting down and having a heart-to-heart conversation.
He's working.
Listen, I'm telling you, what I'm telling you is, Quinty, let me finish. So what I'm telling you is that you're asking me, basically, if the fatherless children are having it worse, you had both your parents, so why are you still feeling like that? What I'm trying to tell you is that sometimes even a father being in the home, he's not in the home. His presence is not felt. The understanding
why wasn't his presence felt?
Let me finish. The relationship of a father and a daughter, if you in the home and you're not doing that, it's almost as if you're not there. You might as well not be there. Yes,
you're a child. What was his problem?
You may You may handle your children differently, but what I'm telling you is straight facts. And I know that there is plenty of women, grown adults now and children that I can call right now that had a father in the home and still feel like they never had a father in the home.
What did he do wrong? What did he do wrong? Why did you feel like you didn't have a father in the home? Because when I first asked you,
I didn't say I felt like I didn't have a father in the home.
What are you saying then? What is all this about?
You're trying to get me to say something. I need you to listen. That's why you're not understanding me. It's because you're not listening to what I'm saying. So what I'm telling you is, I never said I felt like I never had a father in a home. What I said was, just because you have one there does not mean that same power that a father has to build up a child could be put on them. The power that a father has to bring correction, self-esteem, guidance, direction, clarity. If he's not doing that, you might as well not really be there. But my father taught me a lot of things. My father provided. My father was there. He paid the bills. But when it came to that one-on-one touching relationship to teach me of how to handle myself, even when I encountered men, was not done. So therefore, when I got out in the world, all I have, what I know, is from what my mother taught me. All I now can do is observe my brothers, both of my brothers that are good role models. That's all I can do. I had to go out and learn different things that could have just been said directly to me from other people. So that's what I'm trying to get you to understand, is that just because you're there, you may think that you're doing something, you paying bills, but if you do not sit your children down and you have that one-on-one connection and you build your daughter up and you build your son up, you best believe when they go out in the world, you is no longer their father. The world is, because the streets is going to tell you how to act. The streets and experiences and the downfall of you making poor decisions when it comes to men is going to haunt you. When you got other women out here, they daddy done sat them down and said, baby girl, don't you ever let a man do this. Baby girl, don't you ever tolerate this. Don't you ever do this. For real.
I will
say, my last thing I'm going to throw in there is that what I vividly and strongly remember that my father did tell me was, he said, don't you ever believe a nigga when he just talking. My daddy, I was a child. I didn't know what he was talking about. I really didn't. But
he did teach you then, right?
He told me that one thing, but when it came to conflict, I need a place of rest. That strength that a man has was no longer there. My mama gave that to me. My mama gave that to me.
No, listen.
So hold on.
You can take that to the bank and cash it.
Can I talk now? Can I talk now?
You can go ahead, Quincy. I know it ain't gonna be shit though, but go ahead.
You hurting his feelings. He told you don't call him Quincy.
So when we don't agree, you call me Quincy, and then you tell me, what I'm about to say is not going to be about shit. But here's the thing: this is not an attack on you personally.
No, I understand.
I just want to tell you what Go ahead. I'm sorry.
If you're asking me, I'm gonna tell you about me. You asked me specifically about my father and mother, so I know it's not an attack. I'm just giving you the actual real.
My first statement was about fatherless homes, and I asked you. I said, "Did you grow up in a house with a father and mother?" And you said, "Oh yes, yes." You expressed the fact that you did. So I said, "Did your mother and father not get your esteem up to where you didn't feel like you was beautiful because you wasn't white?" And then you went on this tangent about someone being there but not being there. And then I was like, well, shit, he was working. And then you're like, well, not my dad. And then, but my dad, you were back and forth talking in circles. So you was you said you did what Bobby Hemmett said preachers do. You said nothing very well.
Don't say that about preachers. That's wrong. Don't say that about preachers.
Well, hey, that's how I feel too. But anyway,
preachers do that, but that's another stop. That's another time.
Yeah, don't do that now. That's a whole nother story.
You said nothing very well. Another thing that I didn't agree. Another thing that I didn't agree with is every time you said black people this, black people that, black people this, black people that. Not all black. Well, I mean, your community was white. So why didn't you learn from your community? That was my question. But here's the thing.
Why didn't I learn
We
from the
don't all.
community? You want me to answer that, or
Well, go ahead. You go. You can answer. Go ahead.
you said why didn't I learn from my community? So the only thing I'll say about that is that, like I said, we first learned white culture. Black community was something that we learned when we got out there. We didn't grow up. We grew up in a very nice neighborhood, but that's what I'm
What
saying about
black
that. But
culture
go
do
ahead.
you know? What black culture do you know?
Specifically on what we're
What black?
talking about, I feel like that's irrelevant, because if we're
No,
talking about black culture within the family household, we're talking about marriage and how white women go to college and they come out married and do this and that, and we're talking about how black women don't. Then we transition the conversation into fatherless homes and versus people that do have fathers in a home. Because I think you are. Do you have daughters?
I don't have any kids at all.
Okay, so then that explains a lot. So did you have your dad growing up?
No.
Okay, then. So, what I'm trying to basically, my underlying message, and then you can ask whatever. My underlying message to you is that just because you see the two family household, this and that, good neighborhood, this and that, you think that there's not going to be any room left for flaw? Because as a child, if we're going to talk about any type of beauty standard, your parents, yes, tell you that you're beautiful, but the world also tells you that you're not. So we have a very strong beauty standard when it comes to white and black within the community of us. So I feel like when it comes to the self-esteem of a child, your parents have a lot to do with that, but it's also too, you have to grow into your own self-esteem as you grow up. You really do. You have to grow into yourself. You have to get to know yourself and go whatever down the road.
I can agree
But
with that. I can agree with that.
the underlying message is that just because you're present don't mean you're doing fatherly duties 100% of the time.